gotta see this. Yeah. Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances for.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? We're here with my good friend Logan Duval.
Sir.
Yep. At the CFC campus, we're going to be interviewing some people about taxes. Let's go.
All right. Are you familiar with Donald Trump's tax plan?
No,
You aren't?
I don't think so.
Well, he released it, okay?
Okay.
Like a month ago. Bernie Sanders released his a few days ago, his like rebuttal to Trump's tax plan. We're just going to discuss the key points in Bernie Sanders' tax plan.
Okay.
So the first one relates to the estate tax.
Yes.
So when you die, a percent of your income and wealth gets taxed to the government. And Bernie Sanders wants to eliminate it entirely.
Okay, so the government gets no money when you die.
Yeah.
Okay,
How do you feel about that?
fine with me.
Fine with that?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So it's a good point.
I think so. Why should they get money if you die?
Exactly. So the first point is the death tax. You know what that is?
No.
It's when you die, the government takes a percent of your wealth. So
Okay.
this affects farmers who have a bunch of land, so they take a percent of it, but they can't pay the death tax, so they split the land off and they sell it. So Bernie Sanders wants to get rid of the death tax entirely. Do you support this?
So you're saying if you die,
Mm-hmm. They just take a percent,
do you know how much percent, what that percentage is?
like 20 or 30.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I think taxation is a form of theft.
Yeah?
So I'd say I'd agree with it.
Point number 2 is getting rid of the infamous death tax. You know what that is?
The death tax. Oh, that's the estate tax, right?
Yes.
Yes. So that's just basically taxing rich people when they die.
So this affects mostly small farmers with lots of land.
Okay.
So they don't have the money for the tax, so they divide up the land. This is what you saw in Viking civilizations, they would have children and they'd split it up and the wealth would get diluted. So is that a positive to get rid of the death tax or a negative?
I guess. I mean, for me, from what I'm not too familiar with the estate tax, so I don't want to talk out of my mind. But all I really know from it is just from what I've read briefly is it focuses on taxing people after they die. So I don't really know much more about it than that. So
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
No,
Can
you're
give a
good,
better
you're good.
Answer to your question.
Yeah.
Wants to get rid of the estate tax completely.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably not the best idea.
Okay.
I mean, I tend to agree with Bernie Sanders on most things, but I would say getting rid of the estate tax is probably not the best thing, especially for people who are making millions and millions and millions of dollars.
So the first one is about the child credit. As it stands now, if you have a child, you get $1,000 tax deduction every year, but he wants to up it to $1,600 a year, so 60% increase. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I am not very knowledgeable about taxes and the way that taxes work at this point, because I just started doing my own taxes and my dad helps me out pretty much with them.
Basically, they just take your money.
So when you have a child, you get tax cuts, and that's, some people say, doubling. So is that a positive to America?
Okay, so doubling.
Yeah,
Say
so
that again?
once you have a child, you
Yes.
get tax cuts on your tax form.
Yes. Okay.
So is that a positive?
I think I guess it depends on how wealthy the person is. I mean, I think in general, if you're a poor person, that would help you out a lot. But if you're rich and if you can afford it too, I think you have an obligation to give back to society.
Yeah?
But if you're poor, I mean, we shouldn't be really looking to tax poor people more. It doesn't make any sense. We should just be looking to tax rich people more. And anything that can help poor people, such as, lowering the tax of, when you have a child, that makes perfect sense to me, especially if you don't make much money.
It also depends on your income level. I mean, and also whether or not you're a single parent or not.
Yeah.
If you're a single parent, then I guess your child credit taxes should be I guess you should be getting more money back. If you're
How much do you believe the wealthy in America should be taxed, percent-wise?
Oh man, that's a
Just
tough question.
round ballpark.
Yeah, see, I guess for me, it's I don't think if you're a billionaire and if you want more money, for instance, I don't think you're a sane human being. But for me, it's I don't think any human being should be walking around with $1 billion. I think there's definitely a point where people should not be allowed to generate a substantial amount of money, because that can negatively affect our government. It's destabilizing. So like you see somebody like the Koch brothers, for instance, who have billions and billions of dollars, and you just throw the money into the government and control, a large portion of it. I think that, we have to make sure that can't happen. One way to do that is to make sure that people don't generate billions and billions of dollars. There has to be a limit to how much someone can have. Once you reach a certain amount, you get taxed, 50, 60%. But I would say that for me, it would be reasonable to just ensure that people aren't suffering. Like, people who are making a lot of money should be able to contribute enough so that nobody is in poverty anymore. I know it sounds like socialism, but to me, it's just compassion. And for me, if I'm a billionaire, for instance, and if I'm walking around, if I see homeless people on the streets, I'm thinking there's something wrong with the system here. Like, I have enough money for like a million lifetimes, and everyone else around me is suffering. In order to live a happy life, or just like a comfortable life, which I think the minimum wage should provide, I would be for like $20, $21 for minimum wage.
$21.
Yes. If you can't afford to pay people, a livable wage, I don't think you should be starting a business.
Right now, the max tax cap for a small business is 40%.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to lower it to 25%.
Okay.
How do you 40 to 25% now?
And what's he lowering again?
The tax on small businesses.
Hard question. So that means if he lowers it, what happens?
That means that 25% of their income goes to the government instead of 40%.
That's better then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It supports the.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know it's incredibly difficult to sort of get started in this country. But so that makes sense if you're just a small business. But if you're a mega corporation, they should definitely be taxed more. And we should be looking to, help people, get ahead and sort of.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I
Both
agree
my
with
parents
that too.
own small businesses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, same.
Right.
I think that would be.
I would have to look at the statistics of how much the lack of taxes coming in from the small businesses would be affecting everyone else.
So his reasoning behind the tax cut was for more companies to start up, more employment, so the middle class grows instead of the shrink. So that's what he's thinking.
Yes,
Yeah.
but also a lot of the benefits from taxes go to the middle class or lower. So they could also equally be affected by not getting the tax benefits from taking away all these.
So you're
lower all these
thinking more
taxes.
the government should bring up the middle class and not capitalism.
Yes.
Socialist.
What if I told you all of these points were part of Donald Trump's tax plan he released?
I guess there's some points to it. I still don't agree with all of his policies and stuff like that,
But the tax plan sounds good? Those were the key points.
Well, I
of the
didn't agree
change.
with the first one, did I?
Fine with me.
What, did I agree with that?
Why should they get money if you die?
This is awkward. I guess so. I guess it's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not Bernie Sanders.
No.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
All right.
That makes a bit more sense. Yeah.
Well, I told you that those 3 tax things were his ideas to increase the economy.
I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah, I mean,
those are Bernie's ideas?
Were they actually?
Uh-huh.
They
Those
were.
are in the tax reform right now that the Senate's putting out.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's surprising.
That's,
That's actually really surprising.
That is.
I can't tell if you're lying.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
lying.
That's funny.
You'd be telling me something that I don't have information on, so you could be right.
So you don't believe me that that's what it is?
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay.
I'm just saying that if you were lying to me, I wouldn't know.
I'm not lying to you.
But if you weren't, then that's cool. But also, I feel I don't know, that'd be cool if that was all in the new.
Yeah. It is.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So what if I told you all of Bernie's tax points aren't from Bernie's plan, they're from Donald Trump's plan?
Oh, okay. So all the Bernie points? Yeah, I guess what I was saying earlier though, I wanted to heavily emphasize my point on making sure the rich, the giant corporations don't benefit. And I want poor people to be helped more than anything else, middle
Right.
class.
That's fine with me.
That's fine with you? You cool with Trump?
To be honest, I'm like an individual myself.
Yeah?
Like, I don't know if you're gonna use this interview for your class or whatnot, but I honestly think like what other people eat doesn't make me shit.
Mhm.
I'm not a farmer. I don't own a large business. I mean, so
You good?
yeah.
You cool with it? All right. Nice meeting you.
It's fun, man.